What I'd like you to do for just a few moments is focus on the cross. Allow your eyes to stare into the wood of the cross itself. Now move from the cross to the corpus, which is the body of Christ. And allow yourself to meditate on what Christ has done for all of us. Christ was once asked the question, Jesus, how much you love me? And Jesus said, I love you this much. And he held out his hands and died on the cross for our sins. Clearly, when you look at the cross, and more specific, look at the corpus, you realize Christ has done so much for us. He has done it all. But often we give Christ back just a little. Nowhere near what he has done for us. Christ is the one that makes this night possible. So before I go any further into this homily, and before we travel any further into this Mass, I think it is incumbent upon us, it's imperative upon us to give that man a round of applause. What I'd like to do tonight is just have a little survey. The survey will not be done by paper and pencil, but rather by 2 questions that we're going to put on a wall. And I will acquire your answer of affirmation or negation simply by the raise of hand. So the first question is this. Now this is your opinion. And that's what I'm after, because tonight I have a captive audience. So I need your opinion on this question. Is it wrong to blame someone for something they did not do? How many people think it is wrong to blame someone for something they did not do? Raise your hand. Okay, put your hand down. I'll just ask the same question. Is it wrong to blame someone for something they did not do? How many people feel there's nothing wrong with that? Go ahead and do it. Raise your hand. Okay, so it's unanimous. Everyone's hand went up, and everyone here said yes to the affirmative. It is wrong to blame someone for something they did not do. Now remember that. Tuck that away in your memory somewhere. Now we're going to have survey question number 2. Let's take a look at it. In your opinion, do you think it hurts when you have been blamed for something you did not do? Now, maybe this has happened to you. Maybe, in fact, you had been blamed for something you did not do. So, by show of hands, do you think it hurts if you have been blamed for something you did not do? Raise your hand if you believe that would hurt. Again, that looks unanimous. So now we have made 2 conclusions. It is wrong to blame someone for something they have not done. And it hurts if you're blamed for something you have not done. Now, with that, hold on to those 2 answers. Let's watch this video.
A lady went to the pastor and said, I won't be attending church anymore. He said, may I ask why? She said, I see people on their cell phones during the service. Some are gossiping, some just ain't living right. They're all just hypocrites. The pastor got silent, and he said, okay, but can I ask you to do something for me before you make your final decision? She said, what's that? He said, take a glass of water and walk around the church 2 times, and don't let any water fall out the glass. She said, yes, I can do that. She came back and said, it's done. He asked her 3 questions. 1, did you see anybody on their phone? 2, did you see anybody gossiping? 3, was anybody living wrong? She said, I didn't see anything because I was so focused on this class so the water wouldn't fall. He told her, when you come to church, you should be just that focused on God so that you don't fall. That's why Jesus said, follow me. He did not say, follow Christians. Don't let your relationship with God be determined by how others relate with God. Let it be determined by how focused you are with God. Jesus didn't say follow Christians. He said follow me.
That's powerful. Jesus said follow me, don't follow Christians. You know what happens when you follow Christians? You watch Christians all the time on television. You hear murder and insurrection and fighting and abuse, and you say to yourself, look at those Christians. Well, I'm never going to go to church again because of those Christians. But we've already made the determination it is wrong to blame someone for something they did not do. So when you watch a Christian doing non-Christian-like things and you say to yourself, it's full of hypocrisy. I don't believe in God and I don't believe in Jesus and I'm not going to church because I see all these hypocritical Christians. Jesus Christ is saying what? Hey, it's not me. In the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, in the entire New Testament, Jesus never once says follow Christians. Not one time does he say that. He always says follow me. Because he realized what? When you follow, other human beings are going to make mistakes, and if your whole life and every tenet you possess is based on what they do, you're going to get upset and walk away from the church. Jesus said, follow me, because he never did anything wrong. On Crucifixion Fridays, Jesus is making his way up Mount Calvary. What's being yelled at? Crucify him, crucify him. And there's a group of people say, but he's an innocent man. He has done nothing wrong. But yet what happened? Although some people in fact stood up for him and said he's innocent, he has done nothing wrong, he still wound up in that cross. Why? Because we were following Christians, not following Jesus Christ. Now that is something I want you to remember. As we travel through the year that's ahead of us, and we move from this Easter to Easter 2020, anytime you watch another Christian, maybe your neighbor who's a Christian, maybe a Catholic, maybe another denomination of Christianity, and you say to yourself, Christians are hypocritical, look at them. And then you get mad at Jesus. So you say to yourself, I'm never going to go to church again because I've watched what Christians do. But we've made two assessments before I got started at the very beginning. Everyone here agreed it is wrong to blame something for something they did not do. Guess what happens? That happens to Jesus all the time, every day. He's getting blamed for stuff he didn't do. We also said it hurts if you're blamed for something you did not do. Now maybe you've been blamed for something you did not do, but that happens to Jesus all the time. When he was on that cross and some character walked up and slit the side of him with the lance, and immediately there flowed out blood and water out of his side, but I believe in my heart there flowed a tear out of his eye. Because he said what? He was both human and divine, but he was murdered as a human. And when that tear flowed out of his eye, he had to yell out to himself silently, because he was a silent sufferer. But he had to say, that hurts. That's painful. Just remember that. When you get upset by what someone else does, be upset by what someone else does. Don't take it out on Jesus. Don't take your retribution out on him. Don't say to yourself, I'm not going to go to church Sunday because of what I watched that guy do the other day. He's a Christian. Because he never did anything wrong. The two assessments we made, I got to repeat them because they're valid. They have been valid. They've been valid for centuries. It is wrong to blame someone for something they did not do. Everyone said that is true. But we, for some reason, with license, do it to Christ all the time. We also collectively said it hurts when you get blamed for something you did not do. How much hurt does Jesus Christ feel? He was crucified as a human being some 2,000 years ago, yet we crucify him on a daily basis. Sometimes I say to myself, there's going to be one of these days Jesus is just going to say, that's it. They're wearing me down. I can't take it anymore. They're beating me up for stuff I did not do. Jesus in the Gospels and in the New Testament, as Paul, the writer of nearly all the New Testament, says that Jesus always says, follow me. never follow Christians. Stay focused. Stay focused on the cross. Stay focused on the corpus. Stay focused on Christ. It's good to have peripheral vision. But sometimes the peripheral vision, we see too many things on the left and right, we lose the focus of Christ. But that's what we should never lose, the focus of Christ. We should stop hurting a man who has done nothing wrong, blaming him for when he has done nothing wrong, because that is wrong, and it does hurt. Yeah, I think we were right. I think Jesus deserves a round of applause, but I think we needed to adjust that round of applause. Because for what he's been through, what he did for us, and what we do to him every day when we blame him for all the stuff he hasn't done, instead of blaming the person who's done this stuff, I think he deserves not only a round of applause, I think he deserves a standing ovation. That's just the way I feel. If you agree with me, stand and give him a standing ovation. If not, stay seated. You may just remain standing. We're going to bless the holy water, then have renewal of baptismal promises.